It's a dangerous fight for him against Wardley. Wardley's got that equaliser, which we saw against Justice Tooney last time.
Oh, he's a lot more dangerous than him.
He's got a really good jab, Parker.
I mean, Parker has got quite a reasonable chin.
But I just can't see him outboxing Joe Parker.
I can't see him outbox. If he catches him, he's got that chance.
You see, but I think he does have something to lose because he is in the top 10.
Well, he does because he hasn't lost. He hasn't been knocked out. Welcome back to BoxCast. In this episode, we're going to look at the upcoming fight between Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley, taking place on the 25th of October 2025 at the O2 Arena in London, UK. I'll start with the tail of the tape. Joseph Parker has a record of 36 wins, 3 losses, 0 draws, 39 fights in total. He's got 24 wins by knockout, and he's age 33. He's 6'4" tall, 193 centimeters, and he's got a 76-inch reach, 193 centimeters. The weight is heavyweight, so it's above 200 pounds, and he fights out of an orthodox stance. And Joseph Parker's normally around about 240, 250. He has been above 260 pounds in the last fight. Fabio Wardley has a record of 19 wins, 0 losses, 1 draw, 20 fights in total. 18 wins by knockout, and he's age 30. His height 6'5", 196 centimeters, and he's got a reach of 78 inches, 198 centimeters. And he also fights out of an orthodox stance, and his weight is typically just a bit over 240 pounds. So they're pretty similar in stature, Simon. Slight reach, 1 inch reach, 1 inch height and 2 inch reach advantage for Fabio Wardley.
Yeah, I didn't realise Fabio Wardley was so tall, actually. He doesn't look that
he doesn't,
tall on the telly.
Well, I think he's fought taller people, so it's like, it doesn't look so much, but yeah. They're pretty similar. I think it's probably more like 6'4.5", and Parker's a bit more, but they're pretty similar. I think he has got the slightly longer arms. Interesting fight, this one. What do you see?
Good fight, I like it. Do like it. Nice to see.
Well, I think we were complaining the other day that the heavyweight fights.
Yeah, it's just got a bit
how many fighters.
Dull. You know, when we had that a couple of years ago, they were all fighting, and then
it's gone a bit quiet.
Yeah, and I understand why. You know, the heavyweight division at the moment is locked up with Usyk and the belt, so there's a lot of interims and number one contenders, so they're not going to want to risk. But
you think you would have moved because it's heavyweight. It's big money fights, irrespective. And you know the Usyk situation, but you've still got to get in contention because you know he's going to. Well, the date seems to be changing.
Yeah, I think for your main guys, they are in contention, and that's why they're not doing it. He looks at like Caballero's, was he WBA number 1?
Well, I think he's having difficulty in getting fights.
Lawrence Coley, WBC number 1. There's talk of Dubois fighting for a final eliminator for the IBF. But the most active is Parker.
And probably the most deserving, I would say. Because he has actually got back up there.
It's a dangerous fight for him against Wardley. Wardley's got that equaliser, which we saw against Justice Tooney last time.
But he did get outboxed pretty comprehensively. Yeah. I mean, Hooney was winning that fight comfortably.
This is my, I think, where Parker starts for me as a massive favourite.
Yeah.
Because he's a great boxer. And he can outbox Wardley, but he's got a lot more power, I'd say, than Hooney.
Oh, he's a lot more dangerous than Hooney.
And I don't think Wardley will be able to stand up to Parker's power.
Well, I think if Hooney had more power, he would have got Wardley out of there pretty comprehensively.
But you can't count Wardley out because
it's one mistake and
he will knock you out.
Yeah.
He is a devastating one-punch knockout. But I just can't see him outboxing Joe Parker.
I can't see him outbox. If he catches him, he's got that chance. I mean, Parker has got quite a reasonable chin, so he's not. He isn't really. He had a couple when he had his little wobble bit, but usually he's quite tough. And he's been
against big punches. He's only been knocked out. Was it by Joe Joyce? and he was really ill on that. He shouldn't have been fighting. I think Dillian White had him down.
Well, Dillian White was after the AJ one. AJ one, he just got outboxed. It was the.
I mean, it was
and I think he was a little bit like a deer in the headlights
anyway.
in that fight. I don't think he gave the best.
He's a different animal now. Under Andy Lee.
And if you think he's fought Wilder and Zhang, who were all obviously huge punches as well, I think he's got the blueprint of fight against them. And I think he's comprehensively a better boxer than Wardley.
Definitely.
Yeah. So it's whether he gets caught.
You know what I love about Parker, which I don't think he gets, when he puts his combinations together, they're super fast, super slick.
Well, I think for this, do you think he's going to... Because I think for Bacoli, he went up obviously because of the size. But it wasn't Bacoli he was supposed to be fighting, was it?
No, it was dubious.
Yeah. So I think for the punch resistance, they went up a bit. But do you think he's going to keep that for here or go back to about 250-ish where he's faster?
I don't think he's going to be too concerned about his weight.
Yeah.
I think as long as he feels good, I think the big one for me is speed.
Yeah, well, then that's what I mean. Is he going to be a little bit lighter, like two? Because he's normally typically about the 240, 250, somewhere around there. He hovers between those weights. I think the time he's been heavier was when Joe Joyce and that, but then he was a little bit, he was ill. I don't think he was fully prepared.
No, I think speed's going to be the factor in this one because he's got a really good jab, Parker.
When he fought Wilder and Zhang, he was about 245 and a quarter and 247 and a half, which I think is more getting to what you're saying is the speed. His speed is a bit up, whereas against Bacoli, he was 267, but
But he didn't look big at 267. You know what I mean?
Well, he didn't look, it was overweight.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks big most of the time, but
he didn't look like Andy Ruiz, did he?
No. But I think, he's probably going to be about that 245, 250, where I think he has the balance between the two. But I mean, it doesn't make much difference.
You see, my thing with Wardley is his biggest wins are against Fraser Clark.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what basically made his name, isn't it?
And the first fight that they had was a cracker, but it was a draw. The second fight, he demolished him in a round, caught him with a right hand and basically caved his face in. Okay, against Justice Hooney, but how many fights did Justice Hooney had? He'd never...
Well, with that.
Yeah. Are we jumping on a Dave Allen bandwagon? Dave Allen beats Johnny Fisher, knocks him out, who was, let's be honest, had never fought anyone of note, but then we automatically think...
Well, even in Fabio Wardley, it's only later on he's picked up, and it's like people, sort of... I think
pick out his most notable...
Adley, the Coffee guy, Coffee was less, but Adley and Gorman were a bit more, the people with...
but they're not world...
Yeah, that's what I mean. That was the level. Then he's really stepped up against Fraser Clark, but even Fraser Clark was only 8th.
He was British level.
10th fight, isn't it? Yeah. And then when he's actually stepped up against like a more international level opponent in Justice Hooney, he was just showing
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with stepping up, but I'm just, my point I'm getting is...
Yeah, this is by
he world level?
The best opponent he's ever fought.
Yeah.
In his professional career. And this is a he was former world champion, world level.
This is a guy who's on the verge.
In top form.
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit, because I think he's had a little break now, hasn't he, Parker? 8 months, no, not really. 8 months. I forgot about Bacoli was this year. Yeah, I should have known that descent. So, yeah, I think he's got it's a man on form and, in the zone. And he is definitely a world-class operator, so it's a big step up for Fabio Wardley this year. And whilst he's a decent boxer, I don't think he's world-class level. He's just a good equalizer.
A lot of...
to be honest, I for Wardley fans, I like Wardley. We've done him a few times on the channel. We've been supporting him. But I think we did say against Hooney he was going to have a little bit of a tough fight. Because Hooney can box, it's whether he can catch him, and like the best will in the world, and be putting our British hats on or British turban on. It's we wanted Wardley to win, but Hooney did outdo him in every way, outclassed them basically.
Yeah. And that's my worry is, and Parker's, I'd say, a better boxer than Hooney. He's got more power than Hooney. And he ain't gonna.
I think Parker's better than Hooney.
He ain't going to make the same mistake as Hooney.
Yeah, I think he's been around the block and got an experience on him as well.
But
Wardley's got that chance.
Oh, but that's heavyweight boxing, isn't it? But
I think that's what makes it interesting, because if he didn't, then it's pretty much you're expecting a one-way fight. But I think it's that, and I don't think Wardley's been knocked out either, has he? So he hasn't been beaten. So yeah, he's been knocked down, but I don't think he's been knocked out, has he? So it's interesting from that point of view.
I mean, you're going to have to knock out Parker, because we know he will get back up.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Wardley's going to outpoint him, no. unless Parker's ill or something. And I think Wardley has to knock him out. Parker can outbox him to the 12th round, and he can get him out of there. Parker's got the far more to his game, and he's become a bit more better defensively, as he's fought Wilder and Zhang, who are huge punchers. Bakoli, who was as well, and he got him out of there. Although I think that was really more Bakoli had no preparation, so. Yeah, I think it's a big step up for Wardley.
Huge.
I think it's a good fight for Parker to keep busy, but you would expect Joseph.
No, the thing is Wardley's in the top 10, so it is a good fight for Parker.
Yeah.
For Wardley,
it's a dangerous opponent.
You've
got to be on your game to beat him, because if you drop your guard or you make a mistake, lights out. No, I think you'd applaud Parker for taking it, and Wardley, to be fair, because he's stepping up against a really difficult opponent. And
if you look at Wardley was meant to fight Baby Miller as well, so he's proven he's not scared to take on these fights. Because Baby Miller is still a dangerous operator.
Opponent. I think this is a bigger step up than that.
Yeah,
I think he's
definitely
fighter.
But I just think an informed Parker and the trajectory he's on, I can't see him making the mistakes that he'd need to make for Wardley to beat him. I don't think Wardley's good enough of a boxer to beat Joe Parker.
Well, he's shown up against Hooney, isn't it? So
yeah,
it's got heart, it's tough, and he's got a punch. But I think, but so is Joseph Parker, and he's got the boxing skill as well. And I think the odds are, if you go to the odds, it's 1-5 minus 500 for Joseph Parker, and 7-2 plus 350 for Fabio Wardley. So yeah, and then from the predictions, it's near enough 80% for Parker, 55 by KO, 24 by whatever that is, 55 by KO, 25 by decision, and then it's basically just over 20% for Wardley by KO. Pretty much what we're saying.
See, the thing is Wardley going into this,
although I'm not sure the KO thing percentage. Although, yeah, I think, like you said, if Hooney had power, he probably would have got him out of there.
Would you say Wardley's got nothing to lose in this fight?
Well, that's what makes him dangerous.
You see, but I think he does have something to lose, because he is in the top 10.
Well, he does, because he hasn't lost. So he's got a 0. And he's also got a knockout thing. He hasn't been knocked out.
I think if he gets beat by Parker, he drops down a few levels.
Well, yeah. Well, I think his ranking is a little bit higher than probably where he is. Because if we go through, obviously Usyk is in his class phone. Fury's still there, even though we don't know what he is doing or whatever. So let's go. Parker's number 2 really should be, he's the number 1 contender, really. Caballelli, but it's after him. Yeah, I agree with that. Dubois still there as 4th candidate in that. Yeah, he's still dangerous. Obviously, Usyk is Usyk. So, but if you take that out, he's a dangerous opponent. Ergovic is still wandering around there. Yeah, he's just which day of which fight is there. Then Wardley's number 6. We go Zhang, Bakoli, Atoma, and a Jagba behind them. That's the ring.
It's a good top 10 of boxers, that as well, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but if you the thing, that's what we were saying about the heavyweight. But if you take out this Frank Sanchez, you've missed out there. Jared Anderson, or wherever he is, but he was on the list. Michael Hunter, Khabib Who else are we missing from this? Obviously, Del Boy. He's got one last fight left, so you've got to put him in. Johnny Fisher, who wants to go at Usyk, isn't it? Is not in that list, but yeah. Justice Hooney, if he gets past this, if you take the knockout, is a good boxer. And then I think there's a few more coming up, isn't it? Akoli, is he in heavyweight, or is he thinking what's he been? Bridgerweight, heavyweight?
He's heavyweight now, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's WBC ranked number 1, I think.
I think is a Kazakh or Uzbek Bakadir Chalalov or whatever is unbeaten.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk
there's
about
a few little ones, yeah.
But there's one guy, just quickly
Leinster.
going off topic, who I think will come up to heavyweight next year and be a challenge for them all. And it's Opataya.
Are you going to say Tank Davis?
Oh.
But that's a video. That's the topic for another video. Yeah, Opataya is. Once he's completed cruiserweight, which he's trying to get done.
I don't think the cruiserweight thing is going to happen for him.
Well, I think that's his point. He's either going to complete it, or if it doesn't, he's stepping up.
They're running scared of Opataya, so I think it is going to be a move up to heavyweight for him. And when he does, if he carries the same.
But boxing level, he's, if you take Usyk out, he's up there. And probably Kabayel is the other one. Other than that, I think on pure boxing skill, he's probably as good as anybody.
He's going to.
And if Fury's out of it, you've got. He's good, but then he's got the agility and the footwork with all of those things. And then he's got the menace.
Power.
Yeah. If he can carry the power up with
great
that size
white
people,
shark, dead eyes when they roll back and the black.
Yeah, he's not going to be afraid.
No. So I think he's the one to watch out for next year. I think it's next year he moves up to heavyweight.
Yeah.
I think the cruiserweight thing.
Well, I think he's going to try and resolve it, but that's.
I don't think it's going to happen. I think it should have been done by now.
Well, I think they might get the Ramirez fight, but the
Ramirez is running, mate. If Opataya,
well, he's hot, and then I think after his last fight, he's a bit like
landed
that.
If Ramirez was in Las Vegas and found out Opataya was going to Vegas to meet him, he'd fly to India.
He's going to be running.
And then if Opataya flew to India to find him, he'd fly to the North Pole. He'd just do anything to avoid him, I think. So Opataya is the one for me that will move up to heavyweight. And then a Southern Hemisphere, Parker versus Opataya. That's a huge fight. Huge. That's a stadium filler in Australia.
Mm.
That's my plan for 2026 anyway.
Yeah, I think he could at some point. I think he will be looking at it. If he gets frustrated in there, I think he will. And he said that anyway, isn't it? So I think his main aim is to complete and then move up. But if he can't complete because they're,
they have to really sort this heavyweight division out. Now we had a good two-year spell of it being excellent, and it's going down slowly.
Well, the fighters are there, like you said. How many we mentioned there? There's a top 10 plus thing. They need to make the fights.
Yeah,
I think this is a good matchup though for that.
I don't think it's the promoters. I think it's the actual fighters. The problem with Moses Tatuma is no one will fight him because they'll want mega money. Same with AJ. Usyk's injured at the minute. Kabayel. Does anyone really want to fight
Usyk
Kabayel?
Doesn't really need to fight anybody, so it is there. But they make Parker's probably the one who deserves the fight. Fury's basically out of it and in and out, so really you should take him out. AJ, I think, is still in and out, so take him out. Then it's really Parker, Kabayel, Odeko. Dubois was in that list, but I think he's down, but he's still dangerous. And then it's for any of the others to make up that list. Kabayel and Parker are the ones who really are there.
See, I'd throw Kabayel.
Tomer, I think, needs to do a bit of... He needs to go past some of these.
Yeah.
And not be like on the... Don't get greedy and too much full of your own hype. Take out these people and build your level up, and then you're in that conversation as well. But I think he's a few fights too soon for him. And I think the others need to sort themselves out and get that, have the fights between themselves and sort that ranking out. And there's a huge number of really big fights there. I think Kabayel and Parker are the two most dangerous. now that Dubois stepped back.
I'd throw Caballero in with Dubois.
I think Caballero takes care of Dubois fairly easily. I think he takes care of most of these, other than Parker. I think that's the most interesting. I know but I think Atoma's not got enough experience for either Caballero or Parker at this moment in time. He could win, but it's the same as this, isn't it? You got a punch and a thing. But he can box, so you're against boxers, but obviously seasoned boxers. So yeah, but they need to make him. There's load of fighters in this. They need to make those fights and then get the new guard into place. Because they're not getting any younger, any of them. Even if you're going about Usyk and Fury and co and AJ and co, but Parker, Caballero and co aren't.
No.
You're getting their Wardley's 30, isn't it? So it's not like it's spring chickens. So, we need to get those fights. And seeing as they only do like the odd fight a year or whatever, they need to up that number as well. Parker on that level has been good. And that's when he's got better. When he started doing the 2-3 fights a year and got up. Keeping busy has made him better. And even for this, you got to applaud him for doing it, even though he's not just waited for the fight. A title fight, he's fighting a dangerous opponent.
Yeah.
So yeah, go on. It's that time. Predictions. What are we going for?
I'm torn between the 4th round and the 8th round for Parker knockout, because I do think it is going to be a knockout.
Okay. You have one, I'm going to have the other. That makes it easy.
I'm going to go the 4th.
Okay. 4th. I'm going to have the 8th then.
Just see... I know we go on about the Piccoli fight meaning nothing, but I just think Parker's power
Piccoli was an anomaly because Piccoli wasn't really there, isn't it? I think Parker will wear him down, and he's heavy-handed enough that he's going to cause him problems. I think he's also defensively responsible enough that Wardley isn't going to catch him, and they'll be aware of that. I just hope he don't push for. To be fair, with Parker, it could be interesting boxing match to the end, but it's probably going to be like the Hooney one-sided. So it's not the thing. I hope he pushes to get him out of there, and then, yeah. And between the 4th and 8th, and then we're sort of between the two of us, we're not that far off. But yeah, I think it's going to take him a bit of time to wear him out. Wardley's tough, and he's not going to give up easily. But I think he could get to the point where he's either taking enough damage where the corner's going to have to stop him or something. Somebody's going to have to be sensible about it.
You see, I don't think the corner will stop him because they'll always think he's got that equaliser. But
there's a point where you get enough damage where people
it's going to be over by the 4th anyway.
Yeah.
So I've told you. So Parker for the 4th. Big win.
Yeah, I can see it happening. And points is the other thing. But yeah, I think he's got enough about him and he's going to catch him enough. I don't think Wardley's good defensively enough to do that thing. So yeah. That's our predictions. So in the comments, let us know what you think of this fight, of being too unkind to Wardley's boxing skill. Be bigged up Joseph Parker too much. What do you think is going to happen in this fight? Let us know. And also like, subscribe, comment, whatever you think on this. What fights you'd like to see them next, who the winner of this fight have, and what you'd like to see in the heavyweight division. And we shall see you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching.